Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm really happy you're here today. Wherever you're listening from, whether you're at home, on a walk, driving somewhere, or maybe just lying in bed trying to relax a little, thank you for spending some time with us.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. It's always nice knowing that somewhere out there, people are listening while doing ordinary things.
I know, I always imagine someone washing dishes while listening to us.
Why washing dishes?
I don't know, it just feels realistic. Nobody ever says, I was listening to your podcast while climbing a mountain.
That's true. Most people are probably folding laundry.
Exactly. Or staring at their ceiling at midnight.
That one feels a little too specific.
Maybe because I've done that.
Honestly, same.
It's funny though, a lot of our conversations seem to happen at night.
Yeah, maybe because nighttime has a way of making people think about things they ignored during the day.
That's so true. During the day, you're busy. You answer messages, you work, you run errands, you deal with responsibilities. And then suddenly it's 11 o'clock at night and your brain decides it's the perfect time to ask life questions.
Like, what am I doing with my life?
Exactly. Or why did I say that embarrassing thing 3 years ago?
Your brain never forgets those moments.
Never. It's honestly rude.
It really is.
Actually, speaking of those late night thoughts, lately I've been thinking a lot about time.
That's a dangerous topic.
I know, but I can't stop thinking about it. Maybe it's because this year seems to be moving so quickly. I don't know if you felt that.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like January was yesterday.
Right? And then suddenly we're already halfway through the year.
It's strange. When you're a kid, a year feels huge. Summer vacation feels endless. Waiting for your birthday feels like waiting forever.
Yes, a month felt like a lifetime.
And now a month disappears before you even notice it.
Sometimes I look at my calendar and think, wait, it's already Friday?
And then somehow, it's Monday again 5 minutes later.
Exactly. And I think that's what made me start reflecting on time more. Not in a dramatic way, just noticing how quickly it moves.
I think a lot of people reach that point eventually. When you're younger, time feels unlimited. You assume you'll always have more of it. More time to call people. More time to visit places. More time to start things. More time to fix mistakes.
That's such a good point. When you're young, time feels like something that keeps refilling.
Yeah, like an endless resource.
But then life happens, and you slowly realize it's not endless.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that most people worry about money long before they worry about time.
That's true. Actually, when someone asks what they want more of, most people immediately say money.
Of course, money solves a lot of problems.
Definitely. But if someone offered me 10 extra years with someone I love, or $10 million, honestly, I wouldn't even need to think about it.
Same, not even close.
Which is funny because we spend most of our lives chasing money.
And then eventually realize that the things we truly value are often connected to time. Time with family, time with friends, time with people we care about.
Time to enjoy life, time to rest, time to be healthy, time to experience things.
Exactly. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy an extra afternoon with someone who's gone.
Wow, that sentence hit me a little.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's true. And I think that's one of the hardest things about time. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, there's something permanent about it. You can lose money and earn it back. You can make a mistake and recover, but you can't rewind a year.
Or a day.
Or even an hour.
I remember one time I spent an entire weekend doing absolutely nothing. And I don't mean relaxing. I mean scrolling endlessly on my phone, watching random videos, jumping from one thing to another. And when Sunday night arrived, I felt strangely sad.
Because the weekend disappeared?
Exactly. It wasn't that I needed to be productive. I don't think every moment has to be productive, but I felt like I hadn't actually lived those 2 days.
I know that feeling. It's not about productivity. It's about presence.
Yes, that's exactly it. Presence.
Sometimes you realize you were technically awake for 12 hours, but you weren't really there.
Wow, that's such a strange feeling.
I've had days like that, where I suddenly look up and think, Where did today go?
And then you can't even remember what happened.
Right. It's like time quietly slipped through your fingers.
I think that's one of the reasons people become more protective of their time as they get older.
Definitely. Because eventually you start noticing how valuable it actually is.
You know what's funny? When I was younger, I thought being busy was impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Being busy felt important.
If someone asked how I was, I'd say, busy, almost like it was an achievement.
Same. And honestly, society kind of rewards that.
It does. People wear exhaustion like a badge of honor.
Exactly. Everyone's busy. Everyone's rushing somewhere. Everyone's overwhelmed.
And if you're not busy, people almost think something is wrong.
That's true. But now, I don't think being busy automatically means you're spending your time well.
I agree. Those are two very different things.
You can spend an entire week busy and still feel unfulfilled.
Actually, that's happened to me before. A lot of activity, a lot of tasks, a lot of checking things off a list. But at the end of the week, I didn't feel satisfied.
Because activity and meaning aren't always the same thing.
That's such an important distinction.
I think some of my happiest memories weren't productive at all.
Really?
Yeah, sitting with friends for hours, having conversations that went nowhere, watching the sunset, taking a long walk, eating food together.
It's funny. None of those things sound impressive.
Exactly, but years later, those are the moments I remember. Not the emails I answered, not the meetings, not the errands.
That's actually kind of beautiful.
I think so too. Sometimes the moments that matter most are the ones that look ordinary while they're happening.
And you only realize their value later.
Exactly.
You know, that reminds me of something I heard a few years ago. Someone said that one day your parents put you down after carrying you, and neither of you realizes it might be the last time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard that before.
And every time I think about it, it makes me emotional. Because life is full of those moments. Last conversations, last visits, last ordinary afternoons. And most of the time, we don't know they're happening.
That's one of the reasons time feels so valuable to me now. Not because every moment is magical. Most moments aren't. Most moments are actually pretty ordinary.
Very ordinary.
But that's exactly the point. Life is mostly ordinary moments.
I think people forget that. Sometimes we're waiting for big moments, big achievements, big trips, big milestones.
Meanwhile, life is quietly happening on a Tuesday afternoon.
Exactly. Life is happening while you're drinking coffee, while you're talking to your friend, while you're sitting with your family.
While you're listening to a podcast.
Hopefully this one.
Hopefully.
I think I spent a lot of my early 20s waiting for life to start.
Interesting. What do you mean?
I don't know. I always felt like happiness was somewhere in the future. Like I'd finally feel successful later, or confident later, or peaceful later. Everything was later.
That's very relatable.
And because of that, I overlooked a lot of what was already happening.
I think a lot of people do that. We treat the present like a waiting room.
Wow, a waiting room. That's exactly what it felt like.
Like real life begins after the next promotion, after the next move, after the next relationship, after the next goal.
And then years pass.
Exactly.
Honestly, that's a little scary.
It is. But I think most people only notice it when they look backward.
Yeah, nobody wakes up one morning and says, I'm wasting years.
Of course not. Because it happens gradually. One postponed conversation, one delayed dream, one busy month, then another, and another.
Until suddenly 5 years have gone by.
Right. And then you're sitting somewhere wondering where the time went.
Have you ever had a moment like that?
Definitely. Actually, I remember cleaning out some old boxes a few years ago.
Uh-oh, old boxes are dangerous.
Very dangerous.
They contain emotional damage.
Exactly. I found photos from when I was younger. Nothing dramatic, just random everyday pictures. Friends, family gatherings, weekend trips.
And?
I was shocked by how much I missed things I barely appreciated at the time.
That's interesting.
Because when those moments were happening, I wasn't thinking, these are the good old days.
Nobody ever does.
Exactly. At the time, I was worried about completely different things, little problems, future plans, things that don't even matter now.
And meanwhile, life was happening.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes time so strange. You only understand the value of certain moments after they've passed.
That's actually kind of unfair.
Very unfair.
It's like life gives you the lesson after the test.
That's exactly how it works.
I don't like that system.
Neither do I. But unfortunately, we didn't design reality.
That's true.
Although, if we had, I imagine you'd make everything emotionally easier.
Absolutely. There would be warning labels.
Warning labels?
Yes, a little sign would appear and say, "Attention, you will miss this moment later."
Honestly, I'd appreciate that.
Me too.
But then again, maybe part of the beauty is not knowing.
Maybe, because if we knew every important moment was happening, we'd probably be too nervous to enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know what I've noticed lately?
What?
The older I get, the more careful I am about who I spend time with.
That's a big one.
I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not trying to avoid people, but time feels different now.
I completely understand.
When I was younger, I could spend hours with people I didn't even enjoy being around,
Same.
just because I didn't want to disappoint anyone or because I felt obligated.
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah. And then one day I realized something. Every hour I give away is part of my life.
That's a powerful realization.
Because we talk about spending money, but we rarely talk about spending time.
And time is probably the more valuable currency.
Exactly. If I spend $20, I can earn $20 again. But if I spend 3 hours doing something that drains me completely,
You don't get those 3 hours back.
right,
I think that's why boundaries become more important as we grow older.
definitely. Not because we're selfish, but because we're finally understanding the value of our time.
And our energy.
Yes, energy too.
Honestly, one of the biggest changes in my life happened when I stopped asking, "What do I have time for?" and started asking, "What is worth my time?"
Wow, that's a very different question.
It is, and it changed a lot of decisions.
Because not everything deserves equal attention.
Exactly. Some things matter, some things don't, and figuring out the difference takes years.
I still feel like I'm learning.
Me too. I don't think anyone completely figures it out.
That's comforting.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest regrets people have isn't working too little. It's missing moments with people they love.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times. Nobody looks back and says, "I wish I had answered more emails."
Exactly. They say things like, "I wish I had visited more. I wish I had called more often. I wish I had spent more time together."
That always makes me think about grandparents.
Same,
When we're younger, we assume they'll always be there.
because they've always been there.
Right. And then suddenly you realize time has been moving for them too.
That's a difficult realization.
It really is. Sometimes I look at old family photos and it honestly surprises me.
How so?
Because in my mind, people stay the same. But then I see pictures from 10 years ago, and everyone looks younger. And I realize time has been moving even when I wasn't paying attention.
That's one of the strangest feelings.
It really is.
It's like life quietly changes while you're busy looking somewhere else.
Exactly. And maybe that's why I keep coming back to this topic. Because time feels invisible, but it's probably the thing shaping our lives the most.
I think you're right. Every day seems small, but years are built from days.
And futures are built from ordinary afternoons.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I stole it from my own thoughts.
Well, congratulations to your thoughts.
I'll let them know. You know, something else I've been thinking about lately is how the small choices we make every day end up becoming our lives.
That's true. And honestly, I don't think we notice it while it's happening.
Not at all. Most days feel ordinary. You wake up, you do your usual routine. Maybe something good happens, maybe something annoying happens. Then the day ends.
And because each day feels small, it's easy to think it doesn't matter very much.
Exactly. But then one day you look back and realize those ordinary days were building something.
I've thought about that too. People often imagine life-changing moments as huge, dramatic events.
Like in movies.
Right. A big speech, a huge opportunity, some magical turning point.
But real life rarely works that way.
Most of the biggest changes happen quietly,
Like what?
like choosing to call your parents a little more often, choosing to take better care of yourself, choosing to spend time with good people, choosing to walk away from something that's making you unhappy.
Those decisions don't feel dramatic in the moment.
Not at all. Sometimes they feel almost invisible. But years later, they completely change your life.
That's actually comforting
Why?
because it means we don't need some giant breakthrough every week.
Exactly. Most of us are just living ordinary lives, and that's okay.
Honestly, I think social media sometimes makes us forget that.
Definitely.
Everyone seems to be achieving something incredible every 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, you're sitting on your couch trying to decide what to eat for dinner.
Exactly.
And then somehow you start feeling behind.
Even though you're comparing your normal Tuesday to someone else's highlight reel.
That's the trap.
It really is. I've fallen into it more times than I'd like to admit.
Same. But one thing that helps me is remembering that some of my favorite moments wouldn't look impressive online.
That's such a good point.
A conversation with a friend, a quiet morning, a family dinner, a long walk.
Nobody posts, had a really meaningful conversation today, and it changed absolutely nothing on the outside.
Exactly. But those moments matter, sometimes more than the big ones.
Actually, one of my favorite memories from the last few years is incredibly boring.
Now I need to hear it.
See, you already sound disappointed.
A little.
Okay, so a few years ago, I was sitting outside with some friends. Nothing special was happening. Nobody was celebrating anything. We weren't traveling. We weren't doing anything exciting. We were just talking. The weather was nice. Everybody was laughing. And I remember having this weird thought.
What was it?
I remember thinking, I wish I could remember this exact moment forever.
Wow.
Because for some reason, I knew it was special. Not because it was extraordinary, but because it felt peaceful.
I love that.
And honestly, I still think about that afternoon.
That's beautiful. Because I think peace is underrated.
Very underrated.
People chase excitement, success, recognition, adventure, and all of those things can be wonderful. But peace? Peace is priceless.
Especially as you get older.
Definitely. The older I get, the more I appreciate calm days.
Same. When I was younger, I wanted every day to be exciting.
And now?
Now I get excited when plans get canceled.
There it is. The official sign of adulthood.
Honestly, someone says, "Good news, the meeting is canceled." And suddenly, it's the best day ever.
I completely understand.
It's funny how priorities change.
They really do. I think that's one of the most surprising parts of getting older. The things you thought would matter forever don't always matter forever.
And the things you ignored become important.
Exactly. When I was younger, I cared a lot about people's opinions.
Oh, same. Way too much.
I spent so much time worrying about what everyone thought of me.
It's exhausting.
Very exhausting. And looking back, I realize how much time I gave away to that worry.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never thought about worry as something that consumes time.
It absolutely does.
You're right. Hours, days, years even.
Thinking about things that never actually happen.
Or replaying things you can't change.
Exactly. And one day you realize you've spent so much time worrying that you forgot to enjoy what was actually happening.
That's such a painful realization.
It is. But I think it's a common one.
Honestly, if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it might be that.
What?
I'd tell her not to spend so much time being afraid.
Yeah.
Not because fear disappears, it doesn't, but because so many of the things I worried about never happened.
And meanwhile, life kept moving.
Exactly. Life didn't wait for me to feel ready.
It never does.
You know what else time has taught me?
What's that?
That people are more important than I used to think.
That's a good lesson.
When I was younger, I thought achievement would make me happy.
And now?
Now I think relationships matter more.
I agree.
Not just romantic relationships, all relationships, friends, family, the people who show up for you.
The people who make ordinary days feel lighter.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, most memories involve people.
That's true. When I think about my favorite memories, I rarely remember what I was doing. I remember who was there.
Wow, that's actually really true.
The place fades, the details fade, but the people stay.
And that's why spending time with people we care about feels so important,
Because those moments become part of us,
even years later.
especially years later.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
What is?
The fact that something as simple as sitting together and talking can become a memory you carry for decades.
That really is amazing.
And maybe that's why time matters so much. Not because every second has to be productive, not because every moment has to be optimized, but because every moment eventually becomes part of our story.
I like that.
Me too.
I think that's what I've been learning lately. That a meaningful life isn't necessarily a busy life.
That's such an important distinction.
A meaningful life might actually look pretty ordinary from the outside.
A lot of good conversations,
A lot of shared meals.
a lot of laughter,
A lot of showing up for people.
a lot of small moments.
Exactly. And maybe that's enough.
Actually, I think that's more than enough.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, the more we talk about this, the more I realize that time isn't really about clocks.
That's interesting. What do you mean?
Well, when people talk about time, they usually think about hours and schedules and calendars. But that's not really what we've been talking about today.
You're right. We've been talking about experiences, memories, people, moments.
Exactly. Maybe that's what time actually becomes. Not numbers, stories.
I like that, because when you look back on your life, you probably won't remember most dates.
Definitely not. I'm lucky if I remember what day it is right now.
Same.
But you'll remember certain conversations, certain people, certain afternoons.
Certain feelings.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Certain feelings.
Sometimes I think about how strange it is that entire years can disappear in our memory, but one small moment can stay with us forever.
That's true. A 5-minute conversation can stay in your heart for decades.
Exactly, which is kind of beautiful when you think about it.
It really is. And I think that's one of the reasons gratitude has become more important to me.
How so?
Because the older I get, the more I realize how many good moments I almost missed.
That's interesting.
Not because they weren't there, but because I was distracted, or worried, or focused on the next thing.
I know exactly what you mean.
Sometimes happiness was happening and I didn't notice.
Wow, yeah, I've definitely experienced that.
Like looking back and realizing, oh, that was actually a really good season of life.
Even though at the time you thought it was ordinary.
Exactly.
I've had that realization too. You spend years chasing something bigger, then later realize some of the happiest moments were already behind you.
Not in a sad way,
No, not sad, just surprising.
because it teaches you to pay attention now.
That's a good point.
Not perfectly. I still get distracted. I still rush through things. I still spend too much time worrying sometimes.
Same. We're definitely not experts.
Not even close.
We're literally sitting here talking about valuing time while occasionally wasting entire evenings watching random videos.
Thank you for exposing us like that.
I'm just being honest.
Fair enough. Honestly, I think that's important though.
What is?
The fact that appreciating time doesn't mean using every second perfectly.
Absolutely. That's impossible.
And honestly, it sounds exhausting.
Very exhausting.
I don't want listeners to think we're saying every moment has to be productive or meaningful.
Not at all.
Some days you need rest. Some days you need to do absolutely nothing.
And that's okay.
The point isn't perfection.
The point is awareness.
Exactly. Just remembering that our lives are happening right now,
Not someday, not eventually, right now.
even on ordinary days.
Especially on ordinary days.
Because most of life is ordinary days.
That's something I wish more people understood.
Me too.
You don't have to wait for some perfect future version of yourself to start appreciating your life.
That's beautiful.
I mean it. Life isn't only happening in the big moments,
It's happening while you're making breakfast,
while you're walking home,
while you're talking with someone you love.
while you're laughing at something completely stupid.
Those are often the moments we remember most.
Exactly.
You know what? I think that's one of my favorite things about getting older.
What's that?
I've started appreciating simple things more.
Same.
A quiet morning, a good conversation, a message from a friend, a meal shared with people I care about.
Those things feel bigger now.
They really do. And maybe it's because I understand they're not guaranteed.
That's a powerful realization.
Yeah. Not in a scary way, just in a human way.
I think gratitude often begins there.
Where?
When you stop assuming you'll always have more time.
Wow. Yeah. I think you're right.
Not because we're trying to be negative.
No, actually, it's the opposite.
Exactly. When you realize something is limited, you tend to appreciate it more.
That's true.
Time is limited, which makes it valuable.
And maybe that's why today's conversation feels important.
I think so too.
Not because we found some perfect answer.
We definitely didn't.
No, not even close.
But maybe that's okay.
Yeah. Maybe the goal isn't to solve time.
I don't think that's possible.
Probably not.
Maybe the goal is simply to notice it,
To notice the people around us.
to notice the moments we're living,
To notice what truly matters.
and to spend a little more time there.
I like that.
Me too.
Well, it feels like we're slowly reaching the end of today's conversation.
I think we are.
This was a good one.
Yeah, it really was.
I feel like this topic quietly sneaks up on people.
It does. At first, it sounds simple. Then suddenly you're reflecting on your entire life.
Exactly.
And if you're listening right now, maybe that's what we're hoping for.
Not that you leave with some life-changing lesson,
Or a perfect plan.
just maybe a small reminder
To appreciate a few moments a little more.
to send that message you've been meaning to send,
To spend time with people you care about.
to enjoy an ordinary afternoon when it comes.
And maybe to be a little gentler with yourself.
I like that one.
Me too.
Because we're all figuring this out as we go.
Every single one of us.
And honestly, that's kind of comforting.
It is.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Seriously, out of all the things you could have done, we're grateful you chose to spend part of your day here.
Whether you're listening in the morning, during work, on a walk, or late at night staring at the ceiling.
Which apparently is Rose's favorite activity.
It is not.
The evidence suggests otherwise.
Okay, maybe occasionally.
That's what I thought.
Thank you for being here, truly.
Take care of yourselves.
And take care of the people you love.
We'll be back again soon with another conversation.
Until then,
Have a peaceful day,
or a peaceful night.
and we'll talk to you again very soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.